In my own family, we received some great news in the last few months. You see, my nephew and his wife are expecting a baby. What a beautiful, wonderful gift of life. And you know, that reception of the gift of life doesn't just stop with the mother or for the couple. It extends out into the community. And so what happened a couple weeks ago? A baby shower. Now, I think baby showers are familiar to all of us. Maybe we all haven't been to one yet. But we think of it as showering the baby, showering the mother, showering the couple, showering the family with gifts and blessings. And so the baby shower can be an occasion for some good stories, maybe some good food, a time of fellowship and relaxation. But at its core, it's this intuition, the certainty that when you're expecting a child, that family, will need support to welcome this little one into the world. And so we shower them with gifts. Now today in the Gospel of Luke, we hear of perhaps not exactly a baby shower as we might conceive of it, but we hear the story of Mary, the mother of Jesus, the Blessed Mother. Now recall that Mary, as she and Joseph welcomed Jesus into the world, didn't have it easy. Remember that as they were expecting a child, they had to travel to a great distance away from their own place and home. And they had to be guided so that they could go to Bethlehem. And when they finally got there, they didn't have a place for them. And so they had to stay in a stable, as we know, because there was no room at the inn. Of course, then soon after Jesus was born, there was a hunt on for babies of that age, baby boys, because the emperor was so upset. And so they had to go and flee. So Mary and Joseph had their own challenges in the blessed event, no doubt, of welcoming Jesus into this world. Now, what happens while Mary herself is with child? She receives this beautiful news that her cousin Elizabeth, now Elizabeth is older. Elizabeth was thought to be beyond childbearing age. We might say Elizabeth, in receiving this beautiful news, maybe was at risk perhaps. Elizabeth receives the beautiful news. She herself is now expecting a baby. What is the response of Mary? We're told not just she decided to pay a visit, not just she looked at her calendar and said, you know, maybe I'll stop by and see my cousin sometime. We're told what? Here's what the scripture says, that Mary set out and traveled to the hill country in haste. So she knew that Elizabeth would need help. She knew that Elizabeth was so overjoyed by this news of the gift of life, but would need help. And so Mary went straight, in haste. She hurried, she rushed. She went to be with her cousin. And of course, we have this beautiful exchange showing the life in the womb, both at Elizabeth, her womb leapt for joy with John the Baptist, the little baby in the womb, at the presence of Jesus, who at that time was in the womb of the Blessed Mother. And so we see the gift of life being valued from that time in the womb. And Mary going to help who? A mom in need. That's the theme for our Respect Life Month and our celebration this year. Really to reach out and to be called to serve moms in need. And so this gospel passage shows that placed into action. Now, that was in biblical times. We could ask ourselves, what does this mean for us today? What are we called to do to help moms in need? It's that same instinct that would want us to throw a baby shower. It's that same intuition that Mary had immediately to go and help someone who received the joyful news, no doubt, but nonetheless needed some help to welcome this child into the world. So today, in our own country, we're having this discussion once again about how we can love moms and their babies, how we can love them both. And we don't want any mother, any family, to have to choose anything other than to embrace that life growing in the womb, just as Mary and Elizabeth did. But our call is deeper. to make sure we don't just kind of think these thoughts that we should help. Wouldn't it be nice if somebody does help? But we're called to provide that help ourselves, to love them both, to love the baby and to love the mother along the way. Now, of course, we know there are so many apostolates, ministries, organizations in this very region that seek to help and support women who find themselves in the midst of a challenging situation, who need the support that all mothers need, and maybe they need it with a little additional intensity. Now, particularly here in Northwest Indiana, just to name a few, in addition to our pro-life ministries at the diocesan offices, we have, of course, those who are sponsoring this prayer service today, Franciscan Alliance, Franciscan Health, that offers a prenatal program. And we also have so many other programs that help even after birth to make sure that these families are being supported. St. Vincent de Paul societies. We have the Haven boxes that are available. We have our Catholic charities. We have women's care centers. We have various apostolates and ministries that help those who need help to be able to say yes to life and to receive that warm embrace as they continue along this path of bringing the child into the world. And so that's our call. Now, we have a different variety of ages who are participating here today, from college through to some of our middle school students, our junior highs. And so for each of you, the answer will be a little bit different. Some of you might need to talk to your parents about how best you can provide assistance in this way. One way is, of course, to affiliate with a formal organization that has as its purpose to help moms who are in need. But we don't need to join a group to do what's right. We don't need to be a member of an organization to simply reach out with love. And so it's important for us to keep our eyes open to those who might be in need right now. Certainly all of us may know someone who's expecting a child. And in our own way, we can offer not just a word of support, but a word of embrace, and to see if there are any needs that can be met. And over time, our heart should be drawn to those who maybe no one planned to have the baby shower for. Maybe no one planned to embrace with love. And so we need to, as Christians, as Catholic Christians, as brothers and sisters in the Lord, say, I'm with you. I'll walk with you. I know your need. I'll be with you. And that accompaniment, that walking with, is this beautiful call. Mary went on the road quickly in haste. Let's, in our own hearts, ask ourselves, how can I help a mom in need? Talk to others about how best we can do that. Look up ways that we can be of support. But at the most basic level, see someone who may be in need and offer a word of support and an act of love. You see, doing this means that we're fulfilling our call as Christians. We're fulfilling our call to walk with all those in need. And in this Respect Life Month, we draw attention to those who are in a particular way embracing the gift of life. We don't need to choose between two competing lives. Rather, we need to choose both, the mother and the child. With Mary, let's go in haste to help those who may be in need. And let's think of ways, perhaps not with all the party favors and all the balloons, but to have our own showering of blessings, our own showering of gifts upon moms who are in need.